Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle Burr. If it's your first time here, I am 22 weeks pregnant with our first baby. So today will be my 20 and 21 week pregnancy update. And let me tell you, it's getting good. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with my 20 week update. This is when allergies started kicking in like crazy for me. I know it's a really bad season for allergies, but what's weird is I've never had allergies before in my life until I've been pregnant, which is really crazy. It's a huge adjustment. I also woke up one morning with a nosebleed, which is really weird. Whenever I had just turned 21 weeks, I woke up in the morning and I just thought it was snot, and then I had it all over my face and my neck, and then I went to the bathroom and I was like, oh, I was literally covered in blood. So I haven't had a nosebleed since I was I don't know, 8 years old from getting bopped in the face on a trampoline. So it's just crazy that here I am pregnant and I got a super bad nosebleed. So that was a little weird. Another thing that happened for me in week 20 is I felt constant movement and rolling around and kicking pretty much consistently all day long. And it was the best. I won't say that that happens every single day, but in week 20, I definitely felt that or experienced that for the first time. And it was so amazing. I couldn't get enough of it. So movement is pretty constant, but just know there might be a day or two where your baby isn't moving as much or is maybe a little bit more still, and just try not to freak out, try not to worry. They're still so little and they have so much room in your uterus still that it's pretty common for you to have some quiet days. So I did have a few days where there was a lot less kicking, and then sometimes whenever you're super busy throughout the day, you just don't notice them because you're not sitting still as much. But just try not to worry if that happens to you. Also in week 20, it's getting so amazing because I am not nauseous anymore. The only time I notice that I'm nauseous is if I wait way too long to eat, and then I'm like, oh no, it's a familiar feeling from the first trimester. So I just make sure that I eat when I'm hungry and I'm good to go. Brushing my teeth is kind of a struggle still. I still kind of gag, but as far as being nauseous throughout the day, it just does not happen anymore. And I am so freaking thankful for that. I'm this is the second trimester and I love it. I pretty much overall feel myself and it's great. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this in my last update, but around week 19, my skin got so bad. I had hormonal jawline, chin, underneath my chin, really bad breakouts in week 19. And then now it's starting to clear up. So I guess it's just hormones. I did get a brand new moisturizer, which is literally the only thing I've changed. So I think it's just a combination of getting a good moisturizer that it needed to happen for me, and then just the fluctuation of the hormones, I guess. So my skin is starting to clear up. I'm really, really thankful for that. And then week 21, y'all, week 21 was probably my favorite week so far. So for week 21, I caught my first kick on camera, which is crazy because I have an anterior placenta. Hi, Bailey. The dogs are walking around. You probably hear my husband going in and out of the garage, so sorry about that. I did manage to get a little kick caught on camera on week 21, and I will upload the clip here for you to see. It's very, very light, but you can definitely see it goes whoop, which is crazy because I have an anterior placenta, and they said that it would be really hard to see the kicks because it's an extra padding in front of my belly that the baby would have to kick through or be strong enough to show a kick. And for 21 weeks, for me to be able to see a kick, I feel like that was pretty amazing. So I love that that happened. Also, for the first time, Matt was able to feel a kick. When they say when you have an anterior placenta, that doesn't really happen until week 25, 24, 25. And at 21 weeks, it happened. So just a little tip, if you have your husband lay their head, the side of their face, on your belly while your baby's kicking, it puts just a little bit of pressure on your belly, and then they can feel it a little bit easier. That's probably what helped because I have an anterior placenta. So he just laid his head on my belly and he was able to feel a kick. The baby kicked him right in his ear and he was like, oh my God, I felt it. But that was really fun and really special. The only thing that really sucked about week 21 is heartburn started and has stayed, and I think it's gonna stay for the rest of the pregnancy. I hope not. It sucks. I think it's just because I'm a shorter person, I have a shorter torso, so it's just not fun. The wise tale about your baby having a ton of hair, I mean, that could be the case, but I know that's a wise tale. So I think it's just because, I mean, everybody's digestive tract is different, and I do have such a short torso that digesting food has just not been fun for me, and heartburn has been so freaking bad, and I hope it doesn't last the whole time, but my heartburn tea that I mentioned in one of my previous videos is a daily thing for me. It honestly gives you like immediate relief. So I love my heartburn tea. I drink it out of my bump mug. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen my little belly bump mug. It's so freaking cute. But yeah, heartburn is just really bad. Like every day, heartburn is really bad, like bad. And then another really exciting thing that happened on week 21. I'm telling you, week 21 has been my favorite week of pregnancy. I went back to cycle class. So pre-pregnancy, I did spin class or cycle class. It's not at a gym, it's at an actual like cycle studio. So it's a little intense. I was a little nervous. It's 45 minutes of high impact cardio, and you don't really get breaks in between. So I was nervous. Of course, I just want to be as safe as possible for the baby, but I went to my first cycle class back and I was shook because I didn't even feel pregnant at all. I rode just like I was riding before pregnancy, which is amazing to me. Like it's given me a whole new appreciation for my body. I could honestly get emotional just thinking about it because I am kicking ass at cycle, and it's such an amazing feeling. I think like when you go through like IVF, or you know, you have like fertility issues, you just assume that your pregnancy is going to be different, or you're not going to be able to do the things that you'd always envisioned yourself doing while you're pregnant. I always said I was going to be active in my pregnancy, but after you go through something like IVF, it's just like that's not your priority, which is, you know, to be expected. But you also are kind of bummed because you're like, I don't want to have to be walking on eggshells. And my OB-GYN was like, you, as far as I know, like you are a just regular old pregnant lady. Do what you want and like within reason. And she said, if anything changed and I feel like you need to stop, then I'll let you know. But you know, you can go back to exercising. You don't have any limitations. So that does give me peace of mind. But I just have a whole new love and appreciation for my body when I am like doing intense, high intensity, like 45-minute cycle sessions, you know, like doing jumps on the bike, lifting my weights, not heavy, like I only do 3 pounds, but just still feeling like really strong and in shape. I have a whole, I can't say it enough, I have a whole new appreciation for my body, and I love it so much. Like just seeing like what I'm truly capable of is so amazing. So I love that. I'm doing cycle at least 3 times a week. Maybe I'll eventually do more, but I'm just trying to like listen to my body. If I don't feel like I need to go, then I don't go. And if I have the itch to go, you know, back-to-back days, then I sign up for the bike and go. So I just listen to my body, and whenever I'm in class, I'm listening to my body too. If I need to sit down for like half a song or a song and you know, keep the resistance on my bike, but not do any standing, just sit and go, then I do that. So it's been perfect. Highly recommend cycle if you are trying to stay in shape while you're pregnant. There was like 2 days in my 21st week, which is weird, that felt like first trimester days. And I felt like nauseous and just more like icky, you know, in your first trimester when you have that hangover feeling. But hindsight, I think it's because I went back to cycle. You don't realize like your body is already working on overdrive every single day to grow a human. And then whenever you do like something super strenuous or active, like it's taking that much more out of you and you have to recover from it. So I think that that's why I had a few days after I went back to cycle where I was like feeling really lethargic, like that hangover feeling, just not feeling well. And I was like, oh my God, this feels like the first trimester. But that is probably definitely why I felt just bleh. And then I put in my phone 2 days of less consistent movement, but it picked right back up. So I was worried in those 2 days whenever it was literal, like just silence in my belly. You know, you just like wonder if everything's okay or if something happened. Just picked back up. I mean, they just have their days where maybe they're going through a growth spurt and they're sleeping a lot, or, you know, you just never know. He was just super chill for 2 days. Oh, another annoying thing. I know I said week 21 has been my favorite, but it's been like a different slew of symptoms. But symptoms I could definitely handle versus like first trimester symptoms. So another thing that happened in week 21 is I started peeing so much. And I'm talking like getting up 2 to 3 times every single night to pee, which is so beyond annoying, because I'm the type of person that once I'm like woken up to go to the bathroom, I try so hard to like stay asleep while I do it, but I just can't do it. So there was several days in my week 21 that I was up for the day at like 4:30 in the morning, because that was like my last pee in the middle of the night. And so that was a struggle. I'm getting a little bit better about peeing and then going back to sleep though. So I'm definitely getting used to that. He's a pretty low baby. He's been low the entire pregnancy. We went to our anatomy scan. He was super, super low the whole time. And the lady was like, do you feel that he's really low? Like, can you tell? And I'm like, oh yeah, lady, like I can tell he is on the bladder, very, very low. Like I just said, we had our last anatomy scan, and the reason I say last anatomy scan is because we had to do one at 18 weeks. If you saw that update, we did one at 18 weeks. We didn't have to, but my OB-GYN referred me at 18 weeks. I did my first anatomy scan, and there were parts of him that we weren't able to see because of his position or because it was still too small. So they rescheduled my next anatomy scan for 21 weeks to get the final look at his heart, because it was completely developed in a size that they could see, and then try to see his face. He was still super, super stubborn. We got one good side view of his face. I say good, but you can't see much. He was just turned in a way that they like really couldn't get a good picture of him, and he wouldn't budge. He's very, very, very stubborn. He's doing his own thing in there, and he doesn't want to be bothered. And they, you know, flipped me around and they tried different things. I mean, she was like poking on my belly for 30 minutes and he was just like, leave me alone. And he is curled up in a perfectly tiny ball. Like this lady was like, oh my gosh, she's just like a ball of baby parts. Like it's hard to like distinguish where he even is, because he was just balled up. His whole body was just like hamburgered in half. His toes were like above his head. How that happens, I don't know. Yeah, so I wanted to show y'all pictures from our most recent anatomy scan. I also have a video where you can definitely tell that he's super balled up and super comfortable. Every time I see that video, I'm like, that cannot be comfy. But apparently to a baby, it is. Like I could picture him coming out as a newborn and staying like folded up and balled up for like a while before he starts to like spread out. So he's definitely gonna be a really cuddly baby, but yeah, it was just a little bit hard to get pictures. We eventually got what we needed with his heart, which is really good. So passed the test there, he's perfectly healthy there. And then we couldn't see all of his face. We got a good little side view, but that's about as good as it was gonna get. But the doctor was basically like, congratulations, you don't need to come back. You can just be seen by your normal OB-GYN for normal checkups, and wish you the best. And I was just like, oh my God, it's so crazy. Sorry if you hear that noise. Matt is cutting wood in the garage because today we are actually filming our DIY board and batten wall. We're gonna do a board and batten wall in the nursery. We're gonna DIY it all. All the supplies only cost like $66 at Lowe's. So I'm super excited for that, and I'm vlogging the whole process. So if you're not subscribed to my channel and that's something that you're interested in, make sure you subscribe. If you hit the little bell notification, it will notify you whenever I upload as well. So like I said, I want to show you the pictures and videos of the anatomy scan. So I'm gonna go ahead and insert them for you to see. I have days where I go like sit in his nursery and I listen to music and I just like cry because I just love him so much. So much that it's just overwhelming. I can't imagine what it's gonna be like whenever he gets here, because that's like a whole nother level of overwhelm that I don't know if I can handle it. I don't know. So that is my 20 and 21 week pregnancy update. I want to leave you with a bump update as well, so let's go ahead and check out the bump. Okay, here is the bump in clothes. And then here is it in my leggings. You could definitely tell more. Here is it from the front. Not a bump update. Side. It's pretty cute. I'm loving it. So like I said, I am 22 weeks. Well, I'm 22 weeks and 4 days, so here it is. Okay guys, that is it for this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
I'll be there if you reach out to me.